coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us once again here at Next Gen Racing Productions. On tap this Sunday morning, once again, the Sunday Hangover Indycar League hits the Progressive Banked Miami, well, Miami Homestead-Miami Speedway. I always seem to flip-flop the name around for some reason. It just sounds better Miami Homestead to me, but that's why I don't name the racetracks that we go to. This is race number 2 for the Sunday Hangover Indycar League. Last week, at the end of the race, we experienced a few technical issues with our audio, so we were not able to pick up the driver interviews at the end of the race. However, I have been able to secure a little bit of time here that we have left in happy hour before these drivers go out and start putting down some qualifying laps. I have been able to reach out to last week's race winner, Graham Bunyan, coming away with the win last week. And Graham, sorry about the technical issues we had last week at the end of the race, so I appreciate you coming up in the booth here with just a little bit left in practice to go over last week's race with you.
Oh, well, yeah, last week's race. Well, first of all, yay. Finished the season off with a win of the Season 3 and finished off with a win at last week's race, so that was pretty good.
It's always good to finish first, always good to lead the most laps. You did both last week. How are you feeling? How is the team feeling heading into race number 2 here at Homestead? For some reason, Graham, I always like to call it Miami Homestead instead of Homestead-Miami.
Well, look, a few of us are dyslexic, so it's okay. We understand that. That's cool. Call it what you like.
Now, I do know that we were originally scheduled to go to Kentucky, Graham. What was the change in schedule? Was it they just not ready for us at Kentucky?
Yeah, I think they're pretty well much not ready for us at Kentucky. We need a little bit more prep to get to Kentucky. So we swapped it around a little bit. So Homestead it is this week, and Kentucky later on down through the season.
All right. Well, once again, Graham, man, congratulations on winning race number 1 of this season. And what's your outlook for tonight?
I don't know. I was talking to Robert earlier on, and I'm a little bit mixed feelings about this race tonight. It's a very quick setup, and it's a very side-by-side setup, and doesn't seem to be much aero push. I haven't had very much practice here. I've been a little bit slack on the practice side of things, but from what I understand is very little tyre runoff, so we'll see what it plays out.
All right. Well, Graham, they didn't get to hear it last week, so you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, anything like that to anybody that watched last week and will be watching this week before we let you go?
Yeah, look, I just want to shout out to everybody who's come back for the new season. Want to give a big shout out to Danny J. 2 days post-op on both hips. Had a major accident last year and fractured his pelvis in a fair few places, and had a heap of screws put in and a couple of plates, and had those removed 2 days prior to the race last week. And he did well and finished 7th in that race with a bit of pain. So he had plenty of pain medication after the race, but he did well. Mike West, my other little team buddy there, he had a bit of a misfortune and come unglued with another car down low on the white line down there, and did his race. The mechanics couldn't get the car back on track. That for some unknown reason they didn't fix the front left-hand wheel, so he was driving around with a wheel that wasn't moving. But other than that, Robert Mitchell for getting the series and keeping the series going, and like again, congrats to the podium. I think it was Ben and Ryan. Unfortunately, Ryan's not here this weekend. He's off and playing in Legoland, so I hope he steps over a fair bit of Lego and he feels the pain afterwards.
All right, Graham, well, we will let you go. Get ready for your qualifying laps.
Not a problem at all. Thanks very much.
That was last week's race winner, Graham Bunyan. We have been able to reach out to our second place finisher on the podium last week, and that was Ben Wallace. Gonna check to see if Ben has a moment to speak with us here. Ben, you got us?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, brother, I apologize for the issues last week. Technical side of things, audio was not available for the interview, so just thought I'd give you a little bit of moment to come up and talk about your race real quick and give any shout-outs that you might have.
Yeah, really, just to all the organisers. Everyone puts a lot of effort into the league, and we have some great racing, some great battles, and a really good bunch of guys. So just a big shout out to everyone.
All right. Well, Charlotte's a little bit different than Homestead-Miami here. We have progressive banking in these corners. Do you think that's going to change the way the racing action is out there on track?
Yeah, Charlotte's pretty fast and frantic in these cars, and yeah, Homestead's completely different. But once the track rubbers in, we should have a good race, and I should be able to run side by side with the leaders and hopefully keep myself up at the front.
Well, Ben, right now you are sitting top of the speed charts in practice. Only about 2 minutes left. So I'll go ahead and let you head on back towards the car to get that suit back on, climb in that little old cockpit, and go try to take the pole position. Before I do let you go, you want to say anything to all the viewers out there?
No, we're happy, and hopefully we get the pole. And yeah, thanks for everyone. So thanks.
All right, Ben, we will catch up with you later.
Yeah, tempo.
That was last week's second place finisher, Ben Wallace. Not here with us this week was your third place finisher, Ryan Bowles. Ryan out at Legoland, as Mr. Bunyan has given us the great insight to. So I've personally been to Legoland in Orlando, and it is, man, it's awesome. If you haven't been to Legoland, as nerdy or corny as it may sound, you need to go check it out, because there is some really, really cool stuff. Nonetheless, though, practice close to being over with. Only 1 minute left remaining before these drivers will strap in for their two hot laps. Only 2 laps here in the Sunday Hangover Indycar League for these drivers to get the job done. So you're going to have to be on point for both of those laps. While we get ready for qualifying, we are going to step away momentarily. We will be right back. You won't miss any other racing action here, live from Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Oh, hi. What's your name? Hi, Marcia. I almost erased you. I was going to draw a car. You do? But you're a... Well, I don't know. A racing driver? Well, we can make that happen.
Back live once again at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Sunday Hangover IndyCar League race number 2. We're going to jump on board with a few drivers that are already out there qualifying. Looks like Graham Bunyan just sitting at the edge of pit road. Mike West, he is out there on track. So we'll jump on with Mike as he makes his way around this fast progressive banked oval. I almost liken it to Martinsville, just with like 3 times longer of straightaways. The corners are pretty tight, but that progressive braking does allow for the cars to move around and change the driving lanes and lines and still maintain a decent speed. I said on board with Mike West. Looks like he's actually going to shut it down already. He is sitting in the second position. Rick Kelball up there in second. Will Zoller slotting in the first position. We'll go back and we'll jump on board with the 04, the 004. I apologize. 00. Look at him out there. Jason Lowe comes across the line. First time by, slotting in fifth position. Have to wait and see what his second time lap shakes out to be. Now slotted back into sixth as Ben Wallace has taken the fifth position away. Oh, and Jason, a little bit of blinky action there. Crosses the line. Only being able to get seventh. Graham Bunyan, last week's race winner, out on track now. Going through turns 1 and 2 on his first timed lap. Looks like that 004 of Jason Lowe was able to steal the pole position away. Now sitting on top of the charts with 2.5 minutes remaining here in qualifying. Let's see where Graham shakes out here. Robert Mitchell in the 31 also out there on track on his flying laps. Graham only slotting in the 10th position right now on his first timed lap. All drivers will complete their qualifying laps. Graham coming around through 3 and 4 for the last time here in qualifying. Where will he shake out? Sitting in 10th right now. Crosses the line all the way up to second on the speed charts. Howard Livingston steals the first position away. He is now on top of the speed chart, sitting on the provisional pole. Robert Mitchell, here you go. That was his first time lap, slotting in 11th position. Robert is the last driver out there left to qualify. So as we sit right now, there you see it. Howard Livingston with a 24.755. What will Robert be able to do when he crosses the line? Where will he slot in? Only up to 7th for Robert, so tough break for him, not being able to steal that pole position away. But with a minute left here in qualifying, it's done. It's over with. Your field is set. Due to time constraints, we will unfortunately not be breaking away for the pre-race activities and festivities. We are just going to go ahead and stay right here on track at Homestead-Miami Speedway. 37 seconds left until we're able to grid these machines up and get out there and have some fun. So, man, I absolutely cannot wait for this. This is gonna be great. Last few seconds ticking away. There you see it up there in the left hand of your screen on the ticker. 5 seconds left in qualifying. And that'll be a wrap right there. Qualifying now finished. So as we wait for these drivers to get onto the grid, we'll step away for a quick 15 seconds or so. We'll be right back. Told you just a few seconds and we'd be right back. No joking, no playing going on here this morning. These drivers getting ready to go. 115 laps around this amazing speedway. And we will now begin our grid show for today's race. Some of the drivers not quite gridded up just yet, so Give that just a second. Maybe they'll go ahead and jump there. Looking back, still missing a few, but we're going to go ahead and continue on. First place, pole position. The 13 of Howard Livingston. Second goes to the 101, last week's race winner, Graham Bunyan. Third place to the 004 of Jason Lowe, and in fourth, the 24 of Rick Kelleball. Fifth position goes to the 99 of Ben Wallace, followed in sixth by the 64 of Rick Lovison. Starting in seventh, the 31 of Robert Mitchell, followed by the 67 of Will Zoller. Ninth goes to the 15 of Danny J. 10th to the 6th of Jeff Murray. 11th goes to the 10 of Mike West, while the 20 of Lee Mitchell is your race control for this afternoon's race. So that is our grid. Field will begin to file off of pit road. There you see them. A little bit of knowledge for some of you drivers that don't know about the IndyCar series side of racing. These drivers, under caution, under green flag conditions, will be forced to take those access roads, which can be pretty treacherous on both old tires with no grip and new tires with no grip. Trying to get the car wound down enough to make that sharper turn, less track, can be tricky. Trying to get back on the gas with fresh tires that aren't heated up properly just yet is also pretty tricky thing to do. But we're getting ready to go racing here. Pace car lights are off. We'll go green flag momentarily. Mustang makes the left-hand turn, waiting for the flag. Green flag is out at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Howard Livingston, your pole sitter, taking a commanding lead right from the drop of the green flag. Has about a 3/10 of a second lead over the second place driver, Graham Bunyan. Graham now looking towards the outside, has Jason Lowe right there behind him. Ben Wallace is right there in tow as well. They're side by side, too deep, coming back down the front stretch. Howard Livingston being scored as your race leader when they hit the line. Able to keep that position for the time being. Things are starting to get a little dicey back there, side by side for third position. We'll take a look back here just a little bit further in the field as you see another car. I believe that is Zoller making a move on the 24 of Kelleball. Things starting to calm down just a little bit. And as I say that, we're looking at almost three wide action for the race lead. Down the back stretch, Jason Lowe right there on the inside making a move. No, that is the 99 of Ben Wallace. He makes a power move to the inside. Now looking to the center of three wide. Takes it back just side by side. He has the momentum on the high side. Graham Bunyan following suit. Gonna look three wide once again down the back stretch. Ben Wallace to the front. Howard Livingston not letting it happen just yet. He motors and powers back to the front. Move being made now by Wallace once again. He's side by side at the line, not able to take the position just yet. Howard Livingston, your pole sitter, has led all 4 laps so far this evening, and we are 2-3 wide once again for the race lead. These drivers not having an issue with the aero push these cars are known to produce. As of right now, there you see Wallace all over that rear wing of Livingston, still battling side by side. This is lap number 6. Crossover attempt. Will it be enough? Side by side down the back stretch. He's going to have the position going into turn 3. That makes Zoller go high. There you see it. Ben Wallace with a crossover move to take the position. He blocks. That's going to make Livingston now run that middle lane. Graham Bunyan all over his spoiler as well. Looking towards the inside, coming off of turn 2. No, they are side by side once again. 3 wide, halfway down the backstretch, back into turn 3. Ben Wallace still your race leader. These drivers putting on a heck of a show here. Only 8 laps into 115, and they are still side by side, 3 wide at times. Not just on the back and the front stretch, but through the entries of these corners. These drivers just standing on it right now, in my opinion. I hate to break away to a different view, but I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go back here, and we're going to jump on board with last week's race winner, Graham Bunyan, get a little view from what he's seeing as you watch all these cars moving around. Here you see just a hornet's nest in his side mirrors behind him. He's pulling up side by side with Howard Livingston going into turn 1. Getting a little bit of a slipstream off of that 99 of Ben Wallace. Ben has been able to open up about a 2/10 second of a lead over this field as they just still have not sorted it out just yet. There you see Howard Livingston finally taking the position. Graham Bunyan with a crossover maneuver. He's got the wing on the inside. He'll have the preferred line going into turns 1 and 2. Pull side by side once again with Howard Livingston. The positions just are swapping back and forth so much. It is absolutely just mind-boggling. These drivers out there putting on one heck of a race already. Look at it right there. Still 2, 3 wide, 4 right there, all within a half a second of each other. Any wrong move, and it can spell disaster for your front runners right now. Still looking at 3 wide, but not taking it that time. Was the 101 of Graham Bunyan. Close quarters there on entry to turn number 1. A little bit of a wiggle out of that 101 machine. Wonder if the tires are starting to wear, starting to get a little less happy about the way these drivers have seemed to be treating them, and that's just foot on the floor, let's go, would be the way I describe the opening 14 laps here for race number 2 at Homestead-Miami Speedway. This race, man, I tell you what, these Sunday Hangover IndyCar League drivers are something else. 15 laps, 1 lead change. But there has been a non-stop battle for the top 2 or 3 positions the entire opening 15 laps. You can just hear the scream of those engines out there. Almost deafening at times when they're coming by. I tell you, these drivers have not let up just in a little bit, a smidge, whatever the smallest amount of measure you can say is. They're not giving anything just yet as we're working lap 16. Ben Wallace has been your race leader for the past 11 laps. Close at the line there. Livingston not able to make the pass. That's going to put Bunyan and Lowe in a precarious situation for a moment. Just behind them, the 67 of Will Zoller and Robert Mitchell lurking still in touch with the front runners. Starting to see almost a second pack. I don't really know if you would describe it that way in IndyCar, but second group of drivers from 7th back to 11th are only about a second off of these leaders, but it seems like they're playing a little different strategy, a little different role right now. Maybe going for a tire and fuel conservation here in this first run. Might be a little too early in the race to speculate on that, but it very well could be the possibility. Jason Lowe in that 004 has been able to make his way by the 13 of Howard Livingston, who now drops to third place. Graham Bunyan still on his rear spoiler as Will Zoller rounds out your top 5. Grabbing a couple of different shots out there from the excuse me. Sorry, do apologize. Have been kind of battling a little bit of sinus cold problems lately, so if you hear some sniffles or some coughs, I do apologize about that. But these guys at Next Gen Racing Productions do one heck of a job at bringing you some great live action shots. Thank you all for providing them. I know the fans and the drivers most certainly love seeing their cars displayed the way that they are here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Back to the line, still leading the race is that 99 of Ben Wallace, followed closely behind by the 004 of Jason Lowe. Hasn't given up the fight just yet. There you see the gaps beginning to form. Drivers falling to the wayside as far as the 3-4 car battles. Starting to see the top 3 separate themselves. Then we have a group of 3 more drivers. Then we have a group of 4 or 5 drivers back behind this group that we are watching right now, with Graham Bunyan, Howard Livingston, and Robert Mitchell. Those 3 drivers still not ready to give up the 4th and 5th positions just yet. Graham Bunyan able to motor on by. He's created a little bit of distance for himself to that 5th place runner of Howard Livingston, but Ben Wallace has got his hands full here. We'll jump up almost a change of the guard here on lap 26. Jason Lowe just not quite able to get the job done yet. He still has Will Zoller in the 67 right on his tail as well. So here we are, 26 laps into this green flag run. We have been green since the drop of the green flag, and there has been a non-stop battle for that front position. If you want to win this race, you're going to have to drive, well, you know, you're going to have to drive it off. I'm not going to say it. You're going to have to drive your, you got me. And Ben Wallace is doing one heck of a job at that right now. There you see him dodge up in front just a little bit, just maybe to call some aero push to that 004. Gets a run down the backstretch, pokes out before he gets into the corner, trying to keep as much clean air on the nose of these Dallara IR18s. I'm not sure anybody's going to have anything for Ben Wallace this late into the run, 30 laps in. Well, actually 29. We're going to start lap 30 of this run when we cross the line. I am not sure that you're going to be able to make the pass on the outside this late into a run. Somebody should surprise me. I hope they do. Because out there on the outside, you see Will Zoller just trying to stay almost in a draft, in a slipstream, possibly to get this 2 and 3 car train that we're seeing develop now with Graham Bunyan joining the scene, to possibly get the momentum wound up and built up and go up there and try to take that first position away from the 99 of Ben Wallace, who has led now for 25 laps. Going to be 26 when he crosses the line this time by. Ben, if you remember, was your second place finisher last week at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Was also top of the speed charts here in practice. Did not qualify as he would have liked. There you see his stats for this race. He started in 5th, but made his way up to 1st and has not looked back ever since. So Ben picking up where he left off last week. He seems to be the driver putting a gap between himself in the field. Last week, that was Graham Bunyan's job. Well, not his job, but that's what he did. We have a battle for 4th, 3rd, 4th, 5th. They're all battling here. That is Graham Bunyan battling with the 004 of Jason Lowe on the outside. Robert Mitchell in tow on the outside right now with Lowe. He's going to choose to stay up high. That's going to allow Jeff Murray in the 6 to close the distance on the inside. Battle you are watching is for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th position, all on track. And we have really begun to see a huge gap develop from 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. They are at least 2 seconds back from your leader. There you see him off in the distance, coming off of turn number 2 there. And Jason Lowe able to keep the position right now. Keep Graham Bunyan at bay. So they cross the line to begin lap 37 out of 115. Bunyan back down to the bottom lane. Will he slide up in front? He does. The momentum off the corner, though, will that allow Jason Lowe to make a run? He doesn't take it. Robert Mitchell instead looking to the inside now on Lowe. It is astonishing how close these drivers get to each other. Whew, man. I'll tell you what, here, look at that. Just watch how close these drivers get at times. Watch this slipstream. Robert Mitchell should close the distance here going back down into turn 1. But, I mean, this just lets you see how close these drivers really are to each other. You know, that's within a 10th or so of each other. Now looking back from the real spoiler of the 101 of Graham Bunyan. There you see Graham taking the position away from Jason Lowe. Looks like we do have one driver on pit road, the 15 of Danny J. He is stopped in his pit box. Have to keep an eye on what the pit delta is. And oh, Graham Bunyan to pit road. Will Zoller, now your race leader. Ben Wallace also hitting pit road. green flag pit cycle has begun for these Sunday Hangover Indycar League drivers. Zoller staying out on track. Looks like the pit delta is about 32 seconds. We now have 8 drivers on the lead lap. First car being scored 1 lap down is Ben Wallace. He is down and away from his pit. Graham Bunyan also away from his pit. Graham taking only 31 seconds for the entire time on pit road. How much longer will these drivers stay out? Robert Mitchell being scored in the second position. Looks like Jason Lowe, Jeff Murray, and Howard Livingston all on the pit road that time by. So now just 5 cars still out there on the older tires. Your race leader is still being shown as Will Zoller. He will cross the line to begin lap 45. There you see Robert Mitchell coming off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch. Rick Kelleball in the 24 hit pit road that time by. I'm going to go back and see both drivers staying on track. Let's see if Rick Lovison stays on track. He stays on track as well. Zoller hit pit road that time by. Mike West hitting pit road that time by. So the only 2 drivers yet to pit out there. And Robert Mitchell looks like he's going to go ahead and bring it down pit lane this time by. Off in the distance, you've seen Rick Lovison. He is pitting as well. That's going to put your leaders right here. Ben Wallace, Graham Bunyan, the 2 that battled last week for the race win, battling once again here this afternoon at Homestead-Miami Speedway for race number 2 for the Sunday Hangover Indycar League here on iRacing.com, the world's #1 racing simulator. It's got wheels and a steering wheel. They've got it tracks and cars scanned with laser precision. So if you like to drive, I'm sure they got something for you. And Graham Bunyan to the lead for the first time of today's race. Looks like he's going to give that position back up before we get around to the line. So he is not going to be shown as leading a lap just yet. That lap goes to Ben Wallace. Bunyan able to make the pass going into turns 1 and 2 once again. But here we see going down the backstretch, going into turn 3 and 4. That's where Wallace gets his run and takes that lead back away. With those green flag pit stops, that has excuse me, I'm sorry. That has created some gaps and put some distance between some of these cars. 16-second gap now between first and 11th place. Mike West in the 10 car. He finds himself about 3 seconds behind the 10th place runner, the 24 of Rick Kelleball. So struggling just a little bit out there with the tires and track at this point in time is that 10 of Mike West. We'll make sure everything's going okay and looking okay for Mike here. Everything looks okay from the suspension. Taking a look off the back of his machine. Battle for the lead. We'll jump back up front again. Ben Wallace has been able to take that position back. There you see, looking back into the eyes of that driver of the 99, Graham Bunyan just now making the pass. Has the momentum down the back stretch. Wallace makes a move back to the inside. He will take the position back once again. Man, oh man. I'm telling you what, these drivers putting on one heck of a show out there this evening. That is for sure. And heck, I don't even know what time it is. I've said this morning, this afternoon, this evening, tonight. I could watch these guys do this all day long, to tell you the truth. Side-by-side battle for first and second. Side-by-side battle for third and fourth. Jeffrey Murray and Will Zoller back there mixing it up. They also have Jason Lowe in tow. Looks like Jeff Murray with an issue. Murray has fallen off the pace. What has happened? Oh, no. There he is. He's back. Third place. What in the world was that all about? These two leaders still have not sorted it out just yet between them. They don't know who wants to lead this thing. Ben Wallace says, you know what, Graham, you led enough last week. It's my turn to win. It's my turn to lead the most laps. And he is trying to get that done as we are just about halfway through this evening's race. We have been green from the drop. Gonna go back to this three-car battle. Let you view some of that great action going on right here between Jeff Murray, Jason Lowe, Will Zoller. The lead up front is beginning to stabilize just a little bit for the 99 of Ben Wallace, who now has almost a 0.2 of a second lead over Graham Bunyan, running in second place. Third, you will find the 6 of Jeff Murray, and fourth, the 004 of Jason Lowe. Fifth position goes to the 67 of Will Zoller. Sixth place, the 31 of Robert Mitchell. The 13 of Howard Livingston is in 7th. 8th place, Rick Lovison. 9th, Danny J. 10th, the 24 of Rick Kelbaugh. In 11th, the 10 of Mike West. Still out there trucking, turning these laps, trying to get everything they can each and every lap. It looks like Jeff Murray has been able to assert his dominance between these three drivers, beginning to step away from Will Zoller and Howard Livingston right now. Oh, I apologize. Stepping away from Lowe and Zoller. Robert Mitchell with a pass for position on the 13 of Livingston. That is just about a 10th or so back behind this three-car battle. Back up at the front, Ben Wallace now has a challenge once again from that 101 of Graham Bunyan. Whew, the racing action just has not stopped. Battle for fourth position, Will Zoller all over Jason Lowe right now. Not wanting to really break away from the battle, but we'll take a look really fast. There you see him. This three-car battle just has not stopped. Ever since they cycled back through the green flag pit stops, these drivers have been right there grouped with each other, not giving way, not giving up, trying to take that third and final podium position if the race were to end now. And that's why this position is so hotly contested, almost just as much as those two leaders have been battling for that position. Gonna take a look real quick just at some race information for you. There you go. 50 laps left to go. No caution so far here this evening. Gonna take a look at some pit road numbers for you real fast. Ben Wallace, not as good of a stop as Graham Bunyan. Looks like Graham may have been one of the fastest on and off pit road, so heck of a job by him and his crew. His crew was one of the fastest for the stop, and Graham did the rest himself. Robert Mitchell now falling back to 7th position. Howard Livingston taking that position back away from the 31. Oh, nope. 31 back to the 6th position. So there's small battles all throughout this race. We're going to go back up, look at our leaders one more time. Not much going on right here. We'll go back and give you a little bit of this Robert Mitchell, Howard Livingston action. These two drivers have been switching the position back and forth for the past few laps. Jason Lowe right there on the rear end of the 6 of Jeff Murray for 3rd position. So like I said, there's a few battles out here to keep in mind. It's like we have 3 distinct battles. One of those battles between 3 cars. And your pole sitter for this evening's race finds himself behind the 8 ball just a little bit. Livingston back there in the back, running in 7th right now, having some issues getting around that 31 of Robert Mitchell. Looks like Mitchell has about 3 to 4 lap fresher tires, so that could be coming into factor as we're reaching about 26 laps or so for all these drivers on these tires. We're going to go back to this 3rd, 4th, and 5th place battle on track. They still haven't figured it out. They haven't sorted it out. Side by side now is the 004 and the 6. Zoller lurking just behind them. And if something goes wrong, all 3 of these cars could possibly be towed away from the racing surface, because things happen very fast in these Indy cars. One of our drone cameras here at NextGenRacingProductions flying above the 3rd place of Jason Lowe, who has been able to step away just a little bit now on the field. Gonna go to another one of our drone cameras. That one's just a little bit more zoomed in. Still the same drone and drone flyer, just different camera option from there. We're going to go ahead and bear with me, please, if you don't mind. That is the wrong one. That is the wrong one. Oh, boy. And it looks like the 6 of Jeff Murray on pit road. He's going to pit from that battle that he was in. to get some fresh tires, and that should take him to the end. That should be his last pit stop. We're going to go ahead and jump up there on the tower where the spotters usually stand to overlook the track, give you a little different perspective of how they have to deal with things. Battle for the lead has dissipated. Ben Wallace has now stepped it out to over a half a second lead over your second place runner, the 101 of Graham Bunyan. Third place on screen right now, the 004 of Jason Lowe finds himself almost 5 seconds behind your race leader, Will Zoller. They're closing the distance. He is sitting in fourth. Howard Livingston back here running in the 5th position. Looks like Danny J has also hit pit road. Robert Mitchell hitting pit road as well. So this very well could be the last stop for some of these guys. Are they trying to undercut and make up some time on those two leaders? Ben Wallace has absolutely stepped it out over Graham Bunyan right now. I can't remember. I think it's this one. It's a beautiful little shot of Ben hitting pit road. Oh! Trouble! He's in the grass! Oh no! Oh my goodness! Big trouble for Ben. Big moment for him. We'll take a look real quick on our Next Gen Racing Productions replay camera. Back it up just a little bit further for you here. Then we'll rejoin your race leader, Graham Bunyan, who elected to stay out that lap. Looked like a late decision there for Wallace. Got into the grass, got a little sideways, a little shaky there. You see him, into the gravel and sand, back across. Whew. Big moment for him. And now, Ben Wallace exiting pit road now. So, a long pit stop for him. That is going to give the race lead to the 67 of Will Zoller, as Graham Bunyan has hit pit road for what should be his final stop. That little incident for Ben Wallace getting to pit road the last time could very well spell disaster for his chances at today's race win. Will Zoller staying out on track. Mike West has hit pit road in the 10 machine. Graham Bunyan being scored. The first car 1 lap down in the 5th position. And Robert Mitchell was able to make up a pretty good distance on the guys in front of him. He is only about a few 2-3 seconds off of Ben Wallace. So Ben with a huge deficit to make up now over Graham Bunyan, who is now running in the 4th position. Will Zoller still electing to stay out on track right now, leading his 9th lap of today's race. 40 laps into this run for him on this set of tires. Jason Lowe in the 004 just behind him, about a half a second, also has yet to hit pit road. Are these drivers now? Jason Lowe does bring it to pit road, so only Zoller left out there on the old tires, and he has got to be giving up a ton of time. Trying to look at the speed charts right now, and Zoller stays out yet another lap. I'm not sure how much longer I would be going around, as he is at least 3 to 4 tenths slower than Graham Bunyan, who finds himself now being scored in the second position, 1 lap down. So if a caution were to fly, Zoller would come out smelling like roses right now, has the entire field trapped 1 lap down if the caution were to fly. Still electing to stay out on track right now is that 67 of Will Zoller. He's rolling the dice and playing it big right now. My goodness. I mean, if you're in a position where you gotta roll the dice, I mean, why not try something? Why not try something crazy? Why not just throw something out there? And there you see we are on with your second place runner. And now Will Zoller does hit pit road. That's going to allow Graham Bunyan to reassert himself at the front of this field in the first position for race number 2 here at Homestead-Miami Speedway for the Sunday Hangover Indycar League. And Graham with about a 4-second interval, a 4-second gap over that 99 of Ben Wallace. So that mistake on pit entry on the access road has made the difference in this race for these drivers. While we have a chance here working lap 92 out of 115, we're going to go ahead and run through some driver spotlights for you. There you see first position has now led only his 3rd lap of the race. Started in second, running in first now, your race leader, Graham Bunyan. Back in second, Ben Wallace has got to be absolutely fuming at himself inside that helmet. Has led the most laps of the race, gonna lead the most laps of the race. Started in 5th, running in 2nd. May have let a race win slip from his grasp with those troubles getting onto the access road coming to pit lane. Jason Lowe with a stellar run so far today, running in now 4th position as Will Zoller was able to make the move and get the pass done with those much fresher tires. Will Zoller have enough to be able to go up there and challenge the guys up front? We'll have to wait and see, but rounding out your top 5 is the 31 of Robert Mitchell. Robert started all the way to 7th, has led a few laps here in this race. 6th place going to Howard Livingston in the 13 as of right now. Working lap 96, the 6th machine of Jeff Murray finds himself running in 7th. The 64 of Rick Lovison finds himself in the 8th position. And Danny started 9th, gotten up to 5th, found himself running back in 9th once again. The 24 of Rick Keldball running in the 10th position, started in 4th. So something may have took place at the beginning of this race. Find himself behind the 8 ball. He is being scored 1 lap down. Then rounding out the field for tonight's race, that is the 10 of Mike West running in the 11th position, being scored 5 laps down. We are close to, we are less than 20 to go here at Homestead-Miami Speedway for the Sunday Hangover IndyCar League, and looking for the best battle on track right now. It looks like it's going to be between Will Zoller and Jason Lowe. That battle is for the 3rd and 4th position. So the podium not settled out just yet for this evening's race. These two drivers still battling out to see who's going to be able to step up there and come and talk to me after the race, you know, because it's always fun. I mean, why wouldn't it be? There you seeing Ben Wallace going into the corner. He has got to be driving like a madman to try to make up some of that time, but I believe by doing so he may be burning up his tires as he's not gaining any ground on that 99 of Ben Wallace. But these two drivers, Will Zoller, Jason Lowe, although they're battling, they seem to be closing a little bit of that distance to the 2nd place sitter right now, Ben Wallace. So might have an interesting little 3-car battle for the 2nd and 3rd spot on the podium for today's race. Zoller being passed once again by Jason Lowe. Now looking back to the inside. He's going to make the pass through the center. I believe that is the center of 1 and 2. Yes, it was. Will Lowe use the momentum to come back down the backstretch and take the position back away? No, he finds himself stuck about a 10th or so behind Zoller. So Zoller now comfortably, I say comfortably, as they come right back together once again in 3rd position. And they have made up about 0.3 of a second on Ben Wallace, who's running in 2nd. 104, now 105 out of 115 laps. We are getting down to when it counts. And I don't think anybody is going to do anything with this guy right here. There you see a few of his teammates just in front of him. So Bunyan putting teammates down a lap. That was Danny J being put down for his first lap. Still have 8 cars running on the lead lap. 10 laps to go. Will be 9 when Graham crosses the line this time by. And we have been green since the start of this thing. Since the drop of the flag, we have stayed under green. Now, fastest lap of the race being taken by Robert Mitchell. I say now, that was back on lap 50. I've had so many different things to talk about. Haven't been able to mention the fastest lap out there on track at 24.540 by the 31 of Robert Mitchell. Leading the most laps out here in today's race will be the 99 of Ben Wallace, who finds himself in the 2nd position. As you've seen on our Next Gen Racing replay, trouble on to pit road has put that 99 of Ben Wallace behind the 8 ball, behind on the charts, behind on the track. Not sure he's going to have anything to go up there in the next 6 laps and track down Graham. But Ben now has his hands full with Will Zoller. Will stayed out on track a lot longer than anybody else. He has about 10 lap fresher tires, and he is going to try to take that 2nd place position away from Ben Wallace as they're working their way through 1 and 2. Wallace on the bottom, Zoller on top, down into turn 3, still side by side on entry. Wallace with a little bit of an edge through the center. Staying low on the track, now up in front just a little bit. Throw some dirty air on the front of that nose of Will Zoller, and that's going to bring that 004 of Jason Lowe. He's coming back right into the picture. Howard Livingston now up into 5th. Those drivers are about 3 seconds behind this battle, but as it rages on, that's going to slow these guys down and allow that field behind them to group up just a little bit more. Now, only 4 laps to go. The battle on track between 3 cars for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position. Who wants the podium more? Who wants to get the job done? Wallace may have abused his tires a little bit more than some of the other drivers on the older tires, trying to make up some time that he lost on that tough, rough pit road entrance on our second green flag pit stop. And Will Zoller is all over him. Not to mention, they have to worry about Jason Lowe in that 004 just behind them. So I don't think this is going to be settled until the front stretch on the last lap. And we are down to the final laps of the race. Graham Bunyan got this thing in hand going down into turn number 3. So we're going to step back with the battle on track, see who comes in 2nd and 3rd. Looks like Jason Lowe has fallen off a little bit. Will Wallace hold on to 2nd? At the line, he gets the job done in 2nd. Will Zoller crossing in 3rd. That's going to bring Jason Lowe across in 4th. Howard Livingston, Jason Murray, all the drivers now making it around. Your race winner once again here for the Sunday Hangover Indycar League. Graham Bunyan in that 101 visiting victory lane once again. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been an absolute pleasure to bring you the great racing action out there all morning long by these drivers as Graham celebrates his victory and we get our post-race interview set up. We'll step away for just a second. We'll be right back here on Next Gen Racing Productions. And as promised, back at the track, race has finished. There you see your podium drivers all lined up at the start-finish line. We're going to go ahead and grab your race winner here today at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Graham, how you doing, buddy? Great race win.
We're just having a little bit of a debrief down there, just trying to work out what happened. Holy dooly, what a race. Wow.
It was an amazing race, my man. You guys, for at least the first 20 laps, there were 4 cars battling for the first spot, and I don't know how you guys kept those cars clean, but heck of a job out there, man.
Yeah, wow. Awesome. Good driving from everyone out there. It was awesome. The aero push sort of coming into play there a little bit, and it was like, I'm just going to drop back a little bit and just see what plays out in front.
So what went through your mind when you came around, or you heard your spotter tell you that Ben in the 99, Mr. Wallace, had a little bit of trouble getting onto pit road? What went through your mind at that point in time?
Well, I'm just thinking to myself, wow, like what's going on here? Like, I didn't realize on the first pit in that Ben was actually pitting in at that time. I'd planned to pit at that lap, and it just so happened that Ben came in. We both had a good pit stop. Both the crews were really good and fast, and we both got out together. I think I was a little bit faster, but we didn't communicate with each other, but we just swapped draft, and we pulled so much time on the third place car, which was Will, and I didn't realise how much time we pulled. And then the second pit stop, that was just crazy. I'm thinking to myself, wow, I've picked up 6 seconds in the pits, but just talking to him down there having a bit of a debrief, he got a fair bit of understeer coming into the pit, so there was the 6 seconds.
Well, man, starting this season off the right way, on the right foot, last week led the most laps, won the race. This week you didn't lead the most laps, but you walk away with another race win. So you got to be happy about the way the season is already shaping up.
Yeah, it's good, and it's good to see that not so much the same guys up here all the time, but everybody's racing hard. They're racing really good, and over the seasons they've all improved, and they're getting better, and it's really good. I got a fast pit crew there. They're not eating donuts and hamburgers and everything there, so they're pretty fast. I'm keeping them trim, and they're going well.
All right, Krim. Well, once again, heck of a job with your second race win of the season so far. Before I let you go and celebrate, you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, or anything to anybody watching?
Look, again, just thanks to the team and everybody that showed up, and thanks to the organisers, Robert, once again, and my team, my crew, they're great, both Danny and Mike, improving each week, and I take my hat off to them. They're doing well. They persevere each week. So everybody, great podium, Ben and Will, and we'll be back here next week, and we'll see if we can keep on going.
All right, well, we will catch you up with you next Sunday on track. Graham, great job. We'll see you next week.
No worries, mate. Thank you.
That was your race winner, joining us for the second time so far this season up here in the post-race interviews, standing on that second podium spot for the second time for the second race in a row. Driver of the 99 machine, Ben Wallace, and we have been able to get up with Ben, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his race. Ben, man, how did it go out there for you this afternoon?
I suppose looking at the positive side, P2 is probably a good result, but I do feel I should have had the win, or could have had the win. Was looking forward to a good battle at the end with Graham.
Yeah, I noticed. I didn't see it begin, but then I noticed you in the grass there on that second pit stop. when those front tires hit the grass, what went through your mind?
Well, I saw how much time Graham made up on me in the first set of stops. So the second stop, I tried to just push it a little bit harder. And as soon as that right front just clipped the grass, it just dragged me into it. So I lost about 5 seconds, I think. But luckily it happened, pit entry and not pit exit, because I would have got a penalty. And lucky I still maintained second. But by that time, Graham was too far down the road to do anything about it.
Now, tell us a little bit about that last little segment that we were dealing with there. Will, he had about 10 lap fresher tires, and he was able to close the distance. Were you concerned at any point in time that he was going to be able to pull that pass off having those fresher tires?
Yeah, I could see them in the mirrors getting closer and closer, and I knew when they got to that. I knew how much later they stopped than I did, so I knew when they got to that kind of second marker, they would close that gap pretty quick. But in the mood I was in, and losing Graham, there's no way I was going to give that up easy. So yeah, I was prepared to fight that one out.
All right, well, Ben, you put on a heck of a show out there for us tonight, battling for that first segment. I don't know how many laps, a good 20 or more, 3-4 cars right side by side and mixing it up. It was great action to watch. You did lead the most laps of the race. I know that's not going to make you feel any better about standing on that second podium position for the second race, but gotta be kind of happy with the way the season has gone. 2 second place finishes in a row.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, rather than dwell on what could have been, we came second last week. It's a really great start to the season. Equipment and the car's working well, and yeah, looking forward to a good season. But yeah, I still want to get that winner as soon as possible.
All right, Ben. Well, before we let you go and debrief with everybody, you want to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, I do's to anybody watching or that may watch?
Yeah, no, just like I said, as always, thanks to everyone, all the effort everyone puts in, and yeah, anyone watching, I hope you had a good show tonight.
All right, Ben. Well, we will catch up with you next week on track.
Yeah, 10-4.
There you have it. That was your second place finisher for the second race in a row, and we are gonna move on to the third place finisher for today's race, Will Zoller in the 67. He did a fantastic job out there, and we'll go ahead and just let Will tell us a little bit about his decision making there during the race. Will, first off, great finish, walking away with a third place here tonight. Tell us a little bit about your strategy there towards the end to go long and almost walk down Ben for that second position.
After running a couple hours of practice, I knew that the pit entry was going to be a complete mess during the race, especially on old tires. So I was hoping that someone would just mess it up a little bit, and maybe get the yellow out. And it sounds like Ben did have trouble, but no yellow. So, I ended up running long, and I don't think I would have caught up to him, but Jason helped me draft up to him, and we had a great finish.
Well, first time on the podium this season. I know we're only 2 races into this thing, but got to be happy about the points that you're going to be able to make up on your competitors after not so much of a good race one for you. Got to be happy about the way the season is starting to take shape for you.
After last week's disaster, I was just happy to finish, honestly. I was very happy with third after I realized I wasn't going to be able to get by Ben, but, it's always nice to be on the podium.
Well, Will, once again, a heck of a job rounding out the podium, coming in third place here tonight. Before we let you go and go celebrate, you want to give any shout-outs or anything to anybody that's watching?
Definitely shout out to Robert for running the series, keeping us all in line, and shout out to my arms for surviving the race. I had my force feedback way too high. My arms hurt.
I know how the high force feedback can wear you out, and I'm sure it did because there was action all night long out on track, Will. And once again, great job, and we will catch up with you next week.
Sure thing. Thank you.
There you have it. That was your third place finisher, rounding out the podium here for tonight's race. 115 laps around this track at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Guys, there's not much left for me to do here. I mean, these drivers let it all hang out. The racing speaks for itself. One heck of a job by all the drivers. Ben Wallace not choosing to beat himself up too much for basically throwing the race away. You see Will Zoller still out there. He's relishing in the moment right now. Leaving his car there at the podium up there near the start-finish line. So he's taking in all he can, getting all the pictures he can. But I'll tell you what we're going to do now. We're going to go ahead and throw it to our race results for race number 2 at the Sunday Hangover Indycar League. First place, your race winner, once again, that 101 of Graham Bunyan coming in second. The 99 of Ben Wallace. In third, the 67 of Will Zoller. Fourth position goes to the 004 of Jason Lowe. And rounding out your top 5, the 13 of Howard Livingston. Sixth position tonight goes to the 31 of Robert Mitchell, while Jeff Murray in the 6th machine finds himself in 7th. Eighth position goes to the 64 of Rick Lovison. Ninth position, the 15 of Danny J. 10th position goes to the 24 of Rick Kelball. Rounding out the field for tonight in the 11th position, the 10 of Mike West. Want to give a shout out to Lee Mitchell up there in race control, watching over all the action, making sure everything stays copacetic. Not much of a job for him tonight as we went green flag to flag here at the Sunday Hangover Indycar League. Last week at Charlotte Motor Speedway, only one caution, so these drivers showing the skill that they have caution free for the second race. We're going to get ready, wrap it up, pack it up, and move on for race number 3 next Sunday. Same time, same place. Come join all the action on track. Oh, if you've liked what you've seen so far, go ahead and give us a like. Hit the subscribe button, smash the bell over there, get notified anytime we go live here at Next Gen Racing Productions. And before I go and play our final video, I'd like to say once again thank you to the league admins and owners bringing us over here at Next Gen Racing Productions on board to bring you this great IndyCar action from the Sunday Hangover IndyCar League. Thank you once again for joining us and watching. I'm David Worrell, and as always, have a blessed day. We'll see you next time here on Next Gen Racing Productions.
coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.